Sit down. Sit down.
If there's one reason this channel's gotten popular, it's because of my loose leash walking, leash reactivity method, which involves letting the dog leave you, giving a correction, and stopping and turning the other way. It's a unique method, and you guys seem to really like it. AJ asked a great question about that method. He says, a lot of your leash and collar techniques are use deceptive amounts of fitness and precision. He says, I think it would be highly beneficial for both myself and others if you made a concise video that goes over exactly how to perform corrections like the turn, the knee push, when and when not to use them, and critical aspects of these techniques. So he's right. I have never totally broken down exactly for you how to do this. And I've taught so many clients this method. I know the hard parts they have, and I know the hard parts you have. I know what you guys do wrong, and I can go over in this video exactly what you do wrong and what you're thinking and what the different way you need to think. And that's this video. I'm also going to go, I'm going to show some of these videos, old videos, and I'm going to slow them down and break them down for you so you can see them live in an older video, okay, with some big dogs. All right, here's the method. The method is, you are at your front door. This sets the tone for the whole walk, okay? You guys kind of know, the dog goes out a little bit and I turn, but you don't know every aspect of it because I've never told you every single aspect of it. So here is the behavior. You are at the door. You are going to release your dog, and your attitude has to be, fly out the door. Don't hold them back from flying out the door. If they want to fly out the door, let them fly out the door. We correct decisions, okay? We don't hold dogs back from doing the wrong thing. Do the wrong thing, that's okay. We'll correct it. Do the right thing, we'll reinforce it. All right, so you're gonna get to the door. Here, I'll do it with Moose. Come on, Moose. Come on, buddy. I don't know if he'll do it or not. It doesn't really matter. You give a lot of leash. Remember, we have to give enough leash that they can leave us. All my clients that I do this with, they all do this one thing. The dog gets a little bit in front of them, and they're like, oh, I need to turn, like Joel said. So they tighten the leash up, and they pull the dog around. That's not it. Let the dog leave you. 6-foot leash, 2-foot arm. I'm always like walking. Dog leaves. I extend my arm. I let my dog leave me. I want them out there before I turn. Because I want to make sure they're actually doing, I don't want to correct them being a little in front of me but checking in with me. That's within criteria. Them fully just going like, I don't know where this guy is, I'm leaving. That's what we're correcting. We're not correcting them in front of us. We're correcting them leaving us. So you have to make sure they're truly leaving you before they get that correction. And the correction is always down and to the side. It is never here. A, that's unsafe for a dog. B, it's ineffective. The correction is to the side. Dogs have all their power going this way. That's why you never want a dog just, whether walking or they're meeting another dog, you never want them right here, right? The center line, you don't want them in front of it. That's why I do the butt flick, which I'm going to break down, is to get them from in front of us to the side of us. All right, we're going to show you with Moose. Moose is such a good boy. All right, watch, and then I'm going to break this down later in this video with some older videos that I have. I don't know if he's going to leave. Okay, Moose. Oh my gosh, you're so good, Moose. Okay, so Moose is with me. Moose is totally with me. Moose, sit. Good, he's a newborn train. He just got here, I think, 2 days ago. Okay, buddy, run around, do whatever you want. I thought maybe you'd do it and I'd show you. So, get to the leashes like this, boop, okay? Give him a lot of leash, say, okay, take one step with your left leg. You're already turning, giving a correction and coming back. What a lot of you do is you wait for the dog to pull you out the door. You know the dog's gonna hit the end of the leash. Why are you taking 2 steps behind them and then stopping? Okay, you're already turning. It's literally that fast. Okay, if you say okay, the dog's already 4 feet in front of you in a half a second. So be ready to turn, correct, walk back into your house, do it again. So that's the specifics, right? A lot of leash. Okay with one step or no steps. If you have this crazy flyer out the door, don't take a step. Watch the one with, I think the Rottweiler I'm going to show you and break down for you. That dog, I don't even take a step. I just go, okay, and then I'm already going pop and turning into the house. The Malinois, I'm going to show you, I believe I take one step. And then do it again, then do it again, then do it again. Do it as many times as you need to do it. But the key is anticipation. The key is knowing they're going to hit the end of the leash and you physically being ready for it. By the way, they're giving themselves a correction. They're giving 90% of the correction, you're giving 10. The 10% of the correction is that little arm movement you do like that when they hit the end. You got to time it. Okay, they hit the end and you just do that. That's the 10%. They're giving themselves 90% of the correction. You're not doing hardly anything. That's one of my keys. The dog can stop giving himself a correction anytime he wants. He is on a leash. He's choosing to fly out the door. Who's giving the correction? The dog is. He's giving himself correction. You should not give yourself a correction, dog. And then the proof's in the pudding, right? You're going to see the videos. You've seen the videos. They stop doing it. Then when you go about your walk, the same rules apply. You're walking. Dog leaves you, you can stop. Sometimes the dog gets in front of you and goes, oh yeah, where's that lady at? Just like at the door. It's the same behavior. Oh, you're with me? Awesome. They're in front of you. Who cares? That's fine. Then you keep walking. Then maybe there's a point where they leave you, you stop, they keep going, you stop, you give a correction, just like at the door. And what this does for leash reactivity is this behavior is the same thinking flying out the door as it is flying at a dog. The dog at the door is saying, I feel like flying out the door even though I'm on a leash and forgetting where this lady is. Then you go on a walk, I feel like flying at that dog even I don't care where this lady is. It's the same mental mechanism going on. So if you fix it here, you're fixing that mental thinking that then they show out there. It's not to say it's going to be perfect here. The stimulus is a little different. So the stimulus being the dog or the stimulus being going out the door is a little different, but the thinking on the dog part is the exact same. It is, I can't leave this lady and fly wherever I want to go. So there's like 50% reduction in leash reactivity when you do this at the door. 80, 30, that's crazy. For one thing at the door to fix leash reactivity 50% or 80%, it's the greatest thing in the world. You guys are always like, what do I do when my dog freaks out? Yes, that's important. I have videos on that. You have to do this first because this is going to reduce it, the intensity of it, the numbers of it freaking out on a dog. So then the dog's a little more controllable. Then you can do the leash reactivity stuff when they're reacting on a walk. But you have to do this. Can't do it out there with this. Once your dog is freaking out on leash, you've kind of lost. It's hard once they're actually flipping the heck out on a dog. It takes real skill. So if you can reduce it here, get it less on a walk, now you can kind of work with it a little bit because it's less intense on the walk. When they see a dog, they freak out less. Now you can deal with it. Now you can manage it. Now you can fix it because it's less. All right, so we're gonna go to the voiceover of me showing you this with other dogs. Then I'm gonna do the voiceover of the flip that you see me do in the video with, I think, Cane Corso and maybe another dog. So you're gonna watch me release the dog. Let him go. I stand there firm and boom, he hits the end of the leash. I continue, or you're gonna continue back into your house. I took one little step back, but notice I didn't follow the dog out the door, and that's what many of you guys do. You guys take 2 steps out the door. Don't take 2 steps out the door. Let the dog, remember, he's giving himself a correction. I took one little step, I gave 10%, he gave himself 90% of the correction. And when a dog gives himself a correction, it becomes very clear to him because we're not giving it with our arms at different lengths. It's very clear, and you're gonna see proofs in the pudding right here, how clear my last correction that he gave himself was. Ready? Exact same cue. Same hand, I went, okay. I think I took one little step, like go free, and he's like, where are you? Proof's in the pudding. Greatest thing ever. Here's another one. This dog's going to be more like your dog at home. He just leaves. I take one step back and give a little correction. Now this one's harder. Look, he gets kind of behind the door. I stand my ground. I have to give him a couple little corrections, but I stand my ground. Okay, this is the second approximation. I do a little leg block at the door, which I like, so I can kind of get myself ready and get myself in position. I don't want him to just fly out the door. So this is you at your front door. Now, you're gonna kind of mentally prepare yourself to release him. So I release him, and I do the same thing. I'm ready, he hits the end, although it's better, little crazy. He's still not coming, and I'm like, no, we're coming. He didn't flip around like the Malinois. Now, here's the third one. Okay, now how I'm inching out the doors because he's being so good. Now we're ready to walk. Now we're ready to go on our walk. Look at that, and then he sits down. That is the third approximation. You guys are gonna probably need 3 to 4 of these. Don't be afraid to do 3 or 4 of these. That's how this whole deal works. We're gonna do it until you can get it right. Okay. Now for the flip that I do, the leg flip as I call it. All right, you have the dog here. The dog is a little in front of you. Maybe it's looking at a dog. You're stationary at this time. Maybe it's looking at a dog. Maybe for whatever reason, they're not paying attention to you. This behavior is done when they're not paying attention to you and they're just focused on the world out there. They're right here. Their butt is right here, okay? You are gonna go flip at the same time as you're going to give them a tiny correction this way. It's not a hit, it's a flip. And what it does is the dog's here, you kind of give him a little push this way and a little pull this way, and the dog ends up here. It's a great method. It's also good for when you're out, and all your dogs do this. You're out, here's what dogs do. They go, I'm going to put my butt on this guy, and now I can scan the world because I can feel this guy. You'll see in all my videos, when dogs come and try to sit on my foot or put themselves on my leg, I go, nope, I leave them on an island. I want them to have to go, where's this guy? Where's this guy? As opposed to, I'm gonna stick my butt on this guy and now I can look for dogs and look for people and I know where he is. It's why tight leashes are bad too. Never sit there with a dog on a tight leash. They don't need to look at you when they can feel the leash being tight. You gotta get off that tight leash, all right? So the butt flip gets them away from you. It also gets their eyes off of the world and it physically flips their body so that they're then in a position more in front of you and more looking at you. Here's the butt flip method with a pretty reactive Mastiff. He's barking at my dog. All right, here's for the first butt flip. Always a loose leash. He creates the tight leash and I go, ready, bink, leg flip. He's still not focused on me. I'm not gonna sit here and beg him with treats and loosen that leash and bink, another one. Little more focused on me, but he needs another one. Pull the leash with the leg. Now look at him. Oh, I better watch this guy. Greatest thing ever. Now I'm a loose leash. Now I relax the leash. Greatest thing ever. All right. Here's a dog. Let's see. He's just focused on everything else. Butt flip's going to be in here at some point. Ready? And little flip. And then he's like, oh, I better watch this guy. No one touches me like that. I've never had anybody touch me like that. I better watch this guy. So this butt flip method is a way to kind of get the dog away from the big world out there and get them focused on you. It's also touching them differently. Hopefully you enjoyed the video.